Afternoon, everybody. Coach Benson here. A lot of people suffer from upper cross syndrome, particularly people that sit at a desk and sometimes what's called a head forward position as well. The result is that when they try and do overhead pressing positions, because of the kyphosis, it's almost impossible to reach your arms overhead, let alone with load. And therefore, compensation usually occurs in the lower body. So in order to be able to get what looks like an overhead position, instead of extending through the thorax, they actually end up in lumbar lordosis, which causes overactivity in the lower back muscles and then a secondary condition called lumbar lordosis. So these three movement patterns are going to be designed to help move you out of that pattern, and a big component of it is to get yourself into a fixed lumbar position so you cannot go into lordosis during the attempt to create an overhead press position in order to manage the center of gravity, etc. So first one I like to do is get onto a foam roller. This is the Hyperx Viper. I'm going to actually turn it into a non-vibratory position. I'm going to put it right under my shoulder blades in what's called the lumbar-thoracic junction, and I'm going to bring one knee into a flex position. So this flexion is going to help stop me from opening up in the lower back and try and help put a dominance to the chest arching or thoracic extension. So from here, holding this position, I'm going to open up in the chest and swing my arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, trying to open up through my chest as best as possible, getting my arms as close to the ground as possible, allowing as much movement through the thoracic joint. That's one. Two, you can then take this into thoracic rotation. So I'm going to get into what's basically a standard groin stretch, or half kneeling groin stretch, and we're going to add some elements to it, okay? So I'm going to drop down to the elbow like so. I'm going to shift back. All the motion is going to occur in my thoracic spine. Inhale, exhale. Like maintaining a spine or back. The third part of this then is to get into a deep squat position through the assistance of tubing or resistance. This could be a cable, etc. So I'm going to get into a deep squat. I'm going to use the Y bell as a dumbbell. I'm going to squat down. I'm going to get my load. I'm going to lift up through the chest as much as I can. This could be more resistance if necessary. And now through my new gained extension, I'm going to press up overhead with the attempt to try and put my bicep in line with my earlobe as much as possible. The more assistance I get from the tube, the more I'm able to balance in my body, open up through the chest, and then try and get as much thoracic extension as possible. The goal is to feel those motions and movements in the mid-upper back area, really working hard through those postural muscles in order to be able to establish an extended position in the chest